First up, we have approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Motion and support. Additions or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Public comment. 5-minute public comment period for anybody, staff or otherwise. Step right up to the mic. No takers. Committee items. Minutes from the July 15th meeting.
Move to approve.
Motion and support. Carrie Ann, take your pick. Additions or changes? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Appointments. We have none. Mike, can I ask on these, we've had some that have not been filled. We talked last time about carrying them over. Where do we advertise those?
Local paper.
And just no takers at all?
Just our website. Perfect.
Website mainly?
And
In it?
we do put it in the paper.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I spoke
Sure.
with Greg Sanford.
Very good. Something to do with memory. No. If I can remind the board to use their microphones also, please.
It wasn't written.
Okay, and you can translate that for us, Dave. Next up, we have Circuit Family Court Probate Court Quarterly Report. Charles.
Again, good morning, everyone. At least the rain held off until Monday morning anyway. It's, again, been a busy quarter. Some of the things that we talked about related on Friday, they keep coming in. You know, some are repeat business. Overall, our court budgets are within the approval amounts, and then I'll answer any questions here. I'll be back this afternoon.
Charles, besides the numbers, anything else significant going on in Circuit Court, Family Court Probate?
Not really. Recovery Court is still, 65 to 70 people. They're still pursuing some more grants. Everything actually been running fairly well other than the numbers.
Okay, Commissioner questions or comments of Charles? Mr. Chairman.
Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Steve.
As you know, we passed the 2014 budget, and your division of the budget chose to use furlough days as your reduction.
Correct.
We have been shared with this board under public comment at last month's meeting that you've not shared this with your line workers yet. And we've also heard many alternative numbers to how many furlough days are going to be required. Administrative services here shows 17 in the next year. What is your plan to implement, and how do you plan to share it with your employees?
The whole topic of furlough days has been an ongoing conversation, and I am aware of the public comment portion that you are referring to. There's always been a range of numbers. The 17 that's in the 2014 budget was, and I've talked to Jim Latham on this too, and they took a bunch of the numbers, threw them together, and averaged it out. I have not, Jim's supposed to be getting us the actual breakdown of the cost per the full-time, part-time, retirement, both for the DB, the DC. Once that's spread out, I'll be able to come up with the actual number of hours per employee. But until I have the 2014 payroll breakdown to those numbers, I won't be able to, other than to have, I know it won't be 17. I'm I'm thinking more in the 13 to 15, but
Charles, have the employees been told any specific number yet or not? Because I know that 17 is the number we were using.
It's been a range, it's always been a range. And until we actually have that breakdown, because we didn't do personnel cost, that's done centrally by county admin, finance. And until I have those numbers, I will not have a, XYZ, 100 hours, whatever it actually comes out to. If not, I mean, I can guess all day.
Well, again, we were working off the 17. It's a little exasperating for us when we have staff coming to the meetings to say we don't know anything about
Sure.
furlough days, so.
Right, and
Sooner the better.
and it's not been a secret. I mean, we've talked to everyone. Now, have we had a central meeting about it? No, not yet. Not until we actually had that final number.
Okay, Julie?
Thank you, Charles, for that information. Do you have regular staff meetings? Is that a part, in which the opportunity would just present itself to give this information to the employees?
We usually have all court staff meetings, but because of the judges' schedules, we haven't had regularly scheduled. We have mini meetings, but we haven't had a general meeting for quite a while.
Any other questions?
And without the judges, I can have meetings, but, when you want your bosses there,
Julie?
Yeah, it's just, this is a concerning issue for me, just because how it is really going to affect these employees. And then at the same time, and I've had this conversation with our administrator the other day, and then at the same time, while they are taking days off without pay, then the new furniture is coming in. So, I just appreciate the conversation so that everybody's
Sure.
informed. And the van as well, thank you. And I understand the budget, those are separate funding budgets. I understand that piece, but it is a concern.
I agree.
Any other comments or questions? Chairman?
Thank you, Charles. I appreciate your candor with us, and always we look forward to working with and helping.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. District Court. I think I see Tammy Bates.
Good morning. I believe you should all now have the link to the reports, hopefully. Okay. So the reports are there. There's nothing glaring in the reports. We're staying within guidelines for expenses. Revenue, we're a little bit over where we projected we would be, so that's a good thing. Other than that, in the reports, I don't have anything glaring to talk about unless any of you have questions in reference to the reports. What is new and exciting in District Court is we just in July provided CPR training for our staff. We did that on 2 separate days. I believe it went over really well with the staff. They all enjoyed it, liked it. Coming up in August, we're going to do customer service training, August and September, for our staff. And we have e-ticketing that's coming. So we have some exciting things coming up. We've already started the process with e-ticketing with the state police and working out the bugs before we go online after the first of the year with all local law enforcement. So.
Julie?
And Tammy, would you be so kind as to share how the funding is coming for the e-ticketing program?
The e-ticketing is coming from a collaboration with Jackson Traffic Safety, local law enforcement, and District Court.
And Tammy, thanks for your hard work on the e-ticketing. It's going to be very beneficial for a lot of different people. Tammy, on the report, one of the ones I always scrutinize closely is the courthouse security report. It looks like there were 6 guns that were stopped from coming into the courthouse versus 8 for the same period last year. Out of curiosity, and I have asked this every couple of years, is that just CPL holders that come in and don't realize they can't come in there? Do you know, and I know it's kind of a generic question, but
I'm sorry.
guns coming into the courthouse, you're down to 6 versus
Right.
8 last year.
Right.
Is that typically just people with CPLs that come in that don't realize they can't come in with them?
Typically, yes. Off-duty officers, things like that. We won't let it, unless we know the officer. If it's an off-duty officer from another county, we usually don't let them in unless they're in uniform. So it could be them, but for the most part, that's what it is.
Okay. Any other questions for Tammy? Thank you.
Thank you.
JC. Jerry or Joe? Don't fight over it, gents.
Well, I just quickly just give you guys an update on some of the things that we're working on right now at JC. Joe's busy, along with a lot of our supervisors. We're digging around looking at safety grants throughout the county. And so we're going to be scrambling around looking for guardrails, intersections, even some areas that I've recognized that we might be able to do some paved shoulders to get people on bikes, be able to walk from parks to other parks or bike trails. So we'll start looking at that stuff right now. That's kind of where our goal is right now. That the call for projects is open. We're also going to be looking at the structure of JDOT. I got a meeting later with Mike on Thursday, I believe it is. Kind of look at that, see what's working, what's not, and maybe everything's fine. But going to be starting to hit a lot more townships. I think I got 4 or 5 this week, which is good. But put a face out there with all of them and kind of get to know everybody a little bit better. But other than that, that's kind of where we're headed right now, unless somebody's got some specific questions you got of me.
Commissioners, any generic questions? Steve.
The staff in the past did an excellent job in communicating with the citizenry when there were complaints individual. And I want to thank you for stepping up and keeping that type of program. I know you've dealt with a couple of different ones that I've asked you guys about, and I want to thank you, and I want to thank the superintendents and everything during the interim period with Mike. So you got a good crew.
Yeah, we really do.
Julie.
Again, on the same lines, thank you for your prompt attention to the questions we're sending your way, and in addressing the superintendent's, or I'm sorry, the township supervisor's questions and concerns in meeting with them. Your time is valuable and it is appreciated. On a lighter note, I did speak to a spouse of a JDOT employee, and she said she has seen a significant change in not only her spouse that works for you, but some of the extended family. The conversation she's hearing, again, she's not in the middle of it, but what she's seeing come home is very optimistic, and they are very pleased to have you on board.
That's good. It's rewarding to hear people say that they're excited about coming to work again. And I had one gentleman that said, it's been 12 years since I've been excited to come to work, and I'm excited again. I'm like, good.
Dave.
They also said, hey, it's new and exciting, and it's a lot of new learning and new ideas that make sense. So, thank you.
No other comments? Jerry, thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, you going to handle the bid? Cold patch, you got in here?
Well, I thought Chuck would probably be here to do that.
Well, unless you have them in your pocket, I don't see them.
No, I don't have any information on that, Dave, sorry.
It's pretty straightforward.
Okay, it's pretty straightforward. It's a cold patch bid.
I think it was submitted previously,
It's
and
been
now
back.
it's just coming back.
Yeah. Okay, we'll need a motion on it. Unless any commissioners have questions, Joe can probably answer them. Motion and support. Questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thanks for your fine work, gentlemen.
Get anything on Jefferson Road, though.
We're down to claims. Somebody would kindly move the claims, and they've been passed around, I think, or
I'll move to pay the bills.
motion and support. Questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. You've got the Parks Board minutes and the September reporting schedule, and we're back down to public comment. Any public comment? You have 3 whole minutes. Hearing none. Committee member comments. John?
I'm looking at the minutes again for the Park Committee, and not that I want to make any changes, and I don't know if it's unusual, but I'm used to looking at who's present and who's absent from these meetings. If we could add an absent line to the meeting so that we know who does not attend.
Yeah, John's right. If they're all there, it should be there at the top.
Okay.
And we do get, obviously, attendance sheets, but it should be in the minutes.
I can't remember who's on all these boards.
Yeah, there's 9 members there, and I think it is a 9-member board, is it not, that are present? Okay, any other comments or questions? We are adjourned.